The Secret Misses. Chapter 1021. The next day, Luna woke up bright and early and changed into casual clothes. She had made an appointment with Angelo to visit the Grand Master of Chinese art, Elder Song Jin, in Taoyuan Village. Because Taoyuan Village was quite far, it would take about 3 to 4 hours of travel time. Plus, the roads in the village were not great, so cars could not enter. That was why Luna decided not to drive and had bought tickets for a long-distance coach instead. Before this, in the studio, Luna and Angelo had already researched in detail on their strategy with Song Jin. It included all of Elder Song's work and information throughout his life, especially his personality and preferences. Unfortunately, the results of their research were not too optimistic and revealed little. As the coach gradually left the city, Luna leaned back against the seat and looked at the densely packed information on her notebook with a headache. Sigh, he's tough to work with. Those who can get to Elder Song's level are all extraordinary at the least. It's rather hard to curry favor from him. Beside her, Angelo was also using his iPad to browse through Song Jin's work. He mumbled, Elder Song is now living alone, so it wouldn't be useful to enter through those close to him. The worst thing is, Elder Song especially hates people disrupting his peace and quiet. Those who want to use money or other things to brown-nose him have minimal chance of succeeding. He must have a weak point if he's human. There's no way that there aren't any loopholes at all. There's no use just talking, let's just discuss when we meet him in person. Okay. On the car, Luna tilted her head and fell asleep. When she woke up, they were about to arrive. Because Luna and Angelo were getting off at the last stop, there were only the two of them left on the bus and the place really looked like a ghost town. Well, that was no wonder too, or else, the view would not be in such a natural form. Wow! The scenery here is so beautiful. As she looked at the green forest outside her window, Luna instantly regained her spirits and could not help but marvel at the beauty of nature. Angelo nodded. Even the air is so refreshing. Ah! This is pure air with no haze. I must inhale more of it. Luna closed her eyes and took a few deep breaths. Wait till we enter the village. The scenery will be even more amazing. Angelo said with some yearning. Elder Song really knows how to enjoy life. He should have lots of creative inspiration in such a place, shouldn't he? As the two chatted, they reached the last stop. Luna quickly got her bag and descended from the bus with Angelo. Where do we go from here? Luna looked at the borderless paddy fields and forests before them, feeling carefree and relaxed. She thought in her heart that even if she could not get Elder Song to help them, treating this getaway as a vacation was pretty good too. If there was a chance, she would bring Little Treasure here to play. The last time she had gone camping with Theo and did not bring Little Treasure along, Luna felt guilty. She was ready to make it up to him with another trip. Angelo looked at the GPS on his phone. We'll first follow this little road and walk straight ahead. Okay, let's go. Luna picked a peach blossom from the side of the road and walked ahead, full of vigor. Then, half an hour later, the two of them were stunned. Angelo, are we lost? Angelo clicked on his phone anxiously. But the GPS says that the path is here. So, the GPS is telling us to swim across? Luna gaped in disbelief at the wide stream before them. Angelo sighed, the terrain here is complex. I think the GPS isn't accurate. I was too careless reading it. They had no choice but to continue to take a longer route. It was evening by the time they finally found a small courtyard. Chapter 1022. Every house in Taoyuan Village was a distance away from each other and Song Jin stayed especially far from everyone else. To come here looking for someone for the first time would indeed be a challenge. Thankfully, they found his place and their search was fruitful. They saw an old courtyard and a smoking chimney on the roof of a house not too far away. Behind the house was a dense forest with paddy fields as its backdrop and they could hear the contented hums of an old cow from inside the courtyard. Vast forests with wild borders, paddy fields by the home, a home within 10 acres of a few houses around, willows shading the home with peaches before it, in a distant village sits one's house, smoke billowing from its chimney. Huh, it looks like Elder Song is Tao Yuanming's fan. Luna laughed. After running around for the entire day, Angelo was about to fall over from fatigue, yet he turned to see that Luna was unexpectedly still energetic and had even recited such eloquent poetry, rendering him really speechless. There was no door to the courtyard. It was a fence that had been set up with some wood, and the two of them tidied themselves up before walking to the wooden door. "Hello, is Elder Song at home?" Angelo asked towards the direction of the courtyard. There were no signs of movement from inside. However, from the looks of the active chimney, there should definitely be someone at home. The two of them called out a few more times, and a short while later, a shadow walked out from the inside. The person wore a rough-looking long robe. He had a white beard and a hearty spirit, almost appearing to be one of those immortal folks. When she saw Song Jin himself, Luna's heart skipped a beat. The elder obviously looked like someone with no worldly desire or intention to seek for anything. Such people were the hardest to settle. Elder Song. Angelo was Song Jin's ultimate fan. His fatigue instantly vanished at the sight of his idol as he said emotionally, "Elder Song, I'm really sorry to randomly disrupt your peace and quiet. My name is Angelo and I'm a designer. I really love your work. You're my favorite calligrapher, and I've even collected your perfect work of 10 frogs before this." Angelo truly qualified as a fan. He was very familiar with Song Jin's work, and the passion and emotion in his eyes were genuine and naive. From Luna's perspective, if such a cute and passionate fan had come all the way to meet her, she would at least invite them in for a cup of tea. "There's no calligrapher here, only an old man. Please leave." However, Song Jin's expression had been very indifferent from the start to the end. Even his eyes did not seem like he was looking at two people, but merely two lifeless objects. At last, he only uttered this sentence before walking back to his house. As he watched the door ruthlessly close, Angelo looked disappointed. "Even though I already prepared ahead." Luna patted him on the shoulders. "It's okay, at least you got to see your idol once." Angelo regained his spirits and announced, "I want to wait for a while more." Luna had the same plan too. "Then, let's wait a while longer. Maybe Elder Song will be willing to meet us when he sees how sincere we are." They waited outside the door until the sun had gone down. When she saw that the sky was getting darker, Luna sighed, "Even the heavens are uncooperative now. There should be a downpour at this moment to offset the mood." However, the weather was not cooperative, and not a drop of rain fell until the end of the night. Of course, they also did not wait for Song Jin to change his mind. "Angelo, let's come again tomorrow. If we leave later, we won't be able to catch the last bus." Even though Angelo was reluctant to leave, they had no other choice. Chapter 10:23. The next day, Luna and Angelo arrived at Taoyuan village once again. Because they had had experience this time around and knew the way, they reached the house by noon. The two of them had bumped into Song Jin in between the paddy fields. Song Jin wore a straw hat and was transplanting rice seedlings. Song Jin's transplanting skill was obviously well trained, and his fingers worked deftly too. He looked just like a typical village farmer at one glance. Who would have thought that he was actually a famous and world-renowned Chinese calligrapher at first sight? Song Jin did not react much when he noticed the both of them from the corner of his eye. He continued to mind his own business without the least bit of concern. Yesterday, their strategy had failed, so Luna decided to change their approach and was straightforward. "Hello, Elder Song. I'm the person in charge of Spirit Studio, Luna, and this is our designer, Angelo. Spirit is a fashion design company that produces premium apparel inspired by Oriental styles. Our designer really loves your work, and at the same time, your work is very compatible with our style. Thus, we've come over this time to discuss a possible collaboration with you. I wonder if you'd consider." A short moment of silence later, Song Jin straightened up and looked at Luna sternly. "Young lady, I think you too should look for someone else. I already said that I'm just an old man, I can't help you." Luna speechlessly pulled at her hair. "Hey, what was with this sentence again? However, one could tell from this sentence that Song Jin had indeed discarded worldly matters and little could catch his interest. Elder Song, can't you just consider it a little? Even if you don't care about fame or fortune, don't you wish your work can be passed on through generations and display a larger value? Luna tried to persuade him. When he heard this, Song Jin seemed to hesitate. Could something have moved him? Luna quickly looked over, but he had bent down and continued to work on his seedlings again. Okay, we've failed again. But that was expected. Song Jin had already made it to the top and was renowned in and out of the country, so why would he care about collaborating with a fashion company? Luna and Angelo took turns in persuading the old man, but at last, they still left unfruitful. Before she left, Luna put the studio's information on the door of the house. When she saw Angelo in low spirits, Luna patted his shoulders and encouraged him, don't give up. When Liu Bei wanted to hire Zhu Guliang, he had to visit his thatched cottage 3 times. Let's try again tomorrow. Maybe we'll succeed tomorrow, who knows? The 3rd day saw failure once more. After returning from Taoyuan village, Luna went straight to Platinum Palace. The moment Luna walked into her house, she threw herself on the sofa and moaned, "Arg, it's so hard to settle him." What's wrong? Theo was sitting on the sofa, reading the papers. He ruffled the girl's hair, observing that she had been upset the moment she had walked in. It's that national calligrapher I told you about. He's so hard to invite. Luna mumbled. Song Jin? Yeah. No hard or soft method can get to him. The key is that he has no desire for anything and we have nowhere to enter. Luna could not help but whine. The possibility of inviting Elder Song is pretty small. I suggest you look for someone else, said Theo. Okay, if even Theo says so, there's probably no hope. Luna sighed, I think that there isn't much possibility too. We'll try one last time tomorrow. Angelo, that unlucky child, is too weak from being indoors all the time. He's already sick from running around these few days. I've to go alone tomorrow, oh no. No, wait. Tomorrow is Saturday and I was just thinking about bringing the little bun on a nature trip. Perfect. Chapter 1024. The moment Luna said that, a soft little bun ran down from upstairs and jumped into her embrace, his face full of glowing expectations. When she saw that little treasure was so excited at the sound of a trip, Luna could not help but feel guilty. Sorry, my little bun, Mommy hasn't brought you out for fun in a long time. We'll be going tomorrow. And it'll just be the 2 of us. With Mommy only? And not bringing Father? The little bun's eyes instantly lit up even more when he heard this. The rays of light from him almost bedazzled Luna's eyes till they turned glassy. Luna replied, yes. We're not bringing the huge light bulb. Theo was speechless. Had karma had come too quickly? What's wrong? Do you have anything to say? Luna looked at Theo and raised her brows. Theo was helpless. No. The girl actually knew that he was going to be outstation for work tomorrow and definitely would not be able to go. Good, then it's gladly decided. Because he had a date with Mommy for a trip, Little Treasure was so excited that he almost could not sleep for the entire night. This was his first time on an outing with Mommy. The next morning, Little Treasure had woken up early to prepare for the outing. The family of 3 packed up before going separate ways. At that moment, a person suddenly ran over from the opposite bungalow. Wait. There's me too. Me too. Cleo. Why are you here? Luna was surprised to see him. My brother said that you guys are going for a spring outing. Spring outings are definitely going to involve barbecue. I want to go too. Cleo looked like he was about to salivate. Luna was taken aback. Are you coming for the spring outing or for food? Of course, for food. Sister-in-law, the grilled meat you made the last time was really yummy. I won't eat for free. I'll help you guys carry the bags and I'll do the hard work, okay? Cleo tried to grovel. It's the desolate countryside, after all. Let Cleo go with you too, said Theo. Okay then. Luna thought that having someone carry their bags was a good idea since she did bring quite a lot today. Then, do you mind bringing one more person? Behind them was Adam's voice. When he saw that Adam had appeared from nowhere, Cleo looked upset because it meant that there was someone else to fight for food with him. Hey, Adam. Why are you everywhere? It's fine if you want to leech on supper, but you want to leech on the outing too. Didn't you mention going to a desolate countryside? There'll definitely be no one there. I've recently gotten crowd syndrome. I get a headache when I see too many people. Coincidentally, I need to go to such a place to relax. Adam said in a weak and troubled tone. Luna's mouth twitched. What the hell is crowd syndrome? This is a problem for those of us who are too popular. I won't blame you for not understanding. Adam sighed. Luna was speechless. Her hands were itchy and she really wanted to beat someone up. At last, Luna and Little Treasure's duo had become a trio and now, a quadruplet. Fine, one can help carry the bags and the other can carry Little Treasure when he gets tired from walking. This is the rhythm of Pigsy and the White Dragon. Quite good. After they had decided, Luna walked to Theo to say goodbye. My dear, we're leaving now. When they heard Luna use such a gentle and sweet tone to speak to Theo, Cleo and Adam knew it was time for public display of affection, so they quickly ran off in tandem. What remains unseen is deemed to be clean. Chapter 10:25. Have more fun. Theo tousled the girl's hair. Luna suddenly felt sad that Theo had to work despite it being the weekend. Sigh, I suddenly feel that it's too mean to leave you alone. What can be done about it? Even though she was going for work today as well, with the current mood, it seemed to have turned entirely into an outing. Theo pinched the girl's earlobe lightly and said softly, compensate me the next time. Luna blinked. How about I compensate you now? Enough, you too. There's still an underage child here, hey. Cleo started to howl from afar. Luna tiptoed to kiss Theo's cheeks, then waved goodbye to her child's father. The little bun was riding this kind of rickety bus for the first time and he was very excited all the way, especially after reaching Taoyuan village. When he saw the scenery before him, the sea of flowers reflected in the little guy's eyes and his gaze was full of curiosity and radiance. Even though Luna had seen the same view 3 times already and had become numb to it, because she was with the little bun this time, everything felt like a new experience all over again. Verdant hills and clear water. There are no traces of being affected by humans at all. Most importantly, there isn't a single person. This is heaven. Oh. Adam looked at the green hills and crystalline water ahead and started getting very excited. It looks he had really been restrained all along. Hey, did you tell Bro Sheldon that you're out today? Luna casually asked. Adam replied stubbornly, why do I have to tell him? Luna was speechless. It was not sure what sin Sheldon had committed in his past life for him to be Adam's manager in this lifetime. Luna thought about it and at last, decided to still send Sheldon a message to inform him of Adam's whereabouts. Wow, yummy. So sweet. Cleo was already climbing a tree when Luna was not noticing. He had picked a few peach blossoms and he was eating the honey inside the stamen. Definitely the true colors of a foodie. Luna walked over to pick some too, then gave some to the little bun. The little bun took a lick and his eyes shone. Let's go. The scenery ahead is even more beautiful. From her previous 3 visits, Luna already remembered the routes nearby by heart and knew the spots with the best views and the most fun. She had no issues being an excellent tour guide. The 4 of them went on a scenic tour all the way. When noon arrived, Luna found a spot in the forest with a gorgeous view and stopped to begin the barbecue. Cleo had waited for the much-anticipated moment. Finally, he stacked the barbecue pit and then laid out all the food ingredients. Luna ordered Adam to lay out the picnic cloth and arrange the cutleries. When she was done, she brought the little bun to chase butterflies and rabbits. Blondie. Are you done? Quickly come over, there's a rabbit here, catch it. Then, we'll have extra food today. Adam laid out the items and looked at the two of them jumping around when he suddenly realized, had he fallen into a trap? He had practically come to be hard labor. No wonder when he said he wanted to come, Theo did not oppose it at all. Catch your ass. I'm not a dog. How can I catch rabbits? Adam said sharply. You're so useless. Help me take care of little treasure, I'll go catch it. Luna said before she ran off and disappeared. Moments later, Luna returned and she had caught a furry, white rabbit. Adam was speechless. What the hell? Are you even a woman? When the little bun saw the rabbit in Mommy's hands, he immediately ran over in excitement. Luna squatted down and said softly to the little bun, "Want to touch it? Its fur is really soft." Chapter 10:26. The little bun was seeing a real-life rabbit for the first time, so he hesitated before offering his small hand to touch its body. When he was done, the little bun's eyes widened. Soft. Furry. Luna could not help but laugh at the little bun's rare animated expression. Haha. Fun, isn't it? The little bun nodded and kept stroking it lovingly. The rabbit was initially still wiggling around in Luna's hand, but it quieted down after the little bun stroked it. Whoa. Such a fat rabbit. Quick, let's grill it. Cleo said excitedly. When the little bun heard what his uncle said, he instantly gave a death stare to Cleo and then hugged the rabbit tightly. Grill your head. You only know how to eat. Luna said annoyedly. Hey, wasn't it you who said to catch it as an addition to our meal? Cleo felt wrong to be scolded. Luna replied, Little Treasure likes it, so we're not allowed to eat it now. Little Treasure nodded vigorously too. Not allowed to eat my bunny. Cleo was speechless. It should have belonged to my stomach. Did you bring the first aid kit? Luna asked. Adam immediately frowned. Are you hurt? I told you not to catch the rabbit. It's the rabbit that's hurt, all right? Adam had no reply. Luna took out the first aid kit and started to bandage the rabbit. Wild rabbits run as quick as lightning and they are highly alert too. How could she have caught it easily? She had only managed to catch it because one of the hind legs was hurt. The little bun felt sorry for the rabbit and stroked its head lovingly, looking like he was the one in pain. After bandaging it up, Luna carefully put the rabbit back into the little bun's arms for him to hold. This rabbit was quite naive and it was very obedient in the little bun's arms. Why go through so much trouble? It would have been better if we just ate it. Cleo looked bitter and hateful. Thankfully, he had forgotten about the rabbit very soon because Luna started the grill. In the forest, the fragrance of peach blossoms and the tempting smell of food mixed together, whetting one's appetite. As the four of them ate, there were sounds of footsteps behind them. Luna turned around to look and saw Song Jin leading a cow with a basket in his hand, walking towards the forest. Ah! She had too much fun and had almost forgotten about her official business. The reason she had chosen this place for barbecue was because she noticed that Song Jin would usually come here to eat lunch after finishing work on the farm. Elder Song, are you done being busy? Want to come over and have some food? Luna asked eagerly. She had been rejected 3 times, so Luna considered herself quite familiar with him now. Furthermore, this time she had not held too much hope, so her attitude was much more relaxed. Elder Song Jin looked at them and when his gaze fell on Little Treasure, he paused for a moment, then said, Thank you, but this old man has brought his lunch. He then sat at a spot 10 steps away from them as he ate his lunch under a tree. In the basket were a simple loaf of bread and some salted vegetable. He's Song Jin? Adam asked. Earlier on the way, Luna had already chatted a little about Song Jin with Adam and Cleo. Yeah. Doesn't he seem so detached from worldly things? Luna said. On the side, Cleo tried to speak with his mouth full. No matter how detached a person is, they'll have their weakness, I'm telling you. Such as how my brother's weak point is you, and my weak point is food. You can use your brother as an example, but you, forget it. Whatever, that's what I mean. There's definitely something that he wants. You just haven't found out what yet. Chapter 1027. It's as if you didn't say anything. If he knew what Song Jin's desire was, would she be running around like a headless chicken? She watched the little bun eat with one hand and feed the rabbit grass with the other, his huge eyes filled with a liveliness that was not usually there. Luna tilted her head and wiped the little bun's mouth, her mood suddenly better again. This place was a little far and it was a desolate countryside, so she was initially worried that the little bun would not adapt well, but who knew that this guy would be having so much fun? In fact, he was not feeling tired. It looked like she could bring the little bun out for more fun outings in the future. Nature is always the best medicine. When he watched Luna's motherly expression, it was hard for Adam to describe his feelings. Not too far away, Song Jin had finished his lunch very quickly and returned to work in the paddy fields. Luna and the rest lay down in the forest to take a short nap. When they woke up in the afternoon, Luna continued to lead them to a few fun spots. The four of them enjoyed themselves until the evening, and as they were prepared to go home, it suddenly poured. In fact, it started raining cats and dogs without any warning signs at all. The little bun anxiously protected the rabbit in his arms while Luna quickly carried the little bun. Cleo took off his jacket to wrap the little bun in it before the four of them rushed out of the village. However, it would take at least half an hour to get out of the village. With the torrential rain, the roads would only become increasingly difficult to walk through. It was quite a terrible situation. Luna was sputtering in the rain. Hey! What the hell? This rain wouldn't pour when it should, and it pours when it shouldn't. What's the nearest place we can take shelter in? Adam asked. There's only Elder Song's house around here, but that's impossible. Elder Song wouldn't allow any strangers into his home. The last time, I wanted to go in for a drink but I was rejected. Luna said. Just as the two spoke, they passed by Elder Song's home. The moment that they were hesitating about whether or not to ask for help, the courtyard's door suddenly flew open. Song Jin stood at the door and peered at them. Come on in. He had actually invited them in himself? How did such an amazing thing happen? Thank you, Mr. Song. Luna did not have time to think. She quickly carried the little bun in. Thank you, Elder. Adam and Cleo chirped. Song Jin's attitude remained indifferent. I'm just doing it for the child. Luna put down the little bun. Baby, quickly thank Grandfather Song. The little bun nodded as he put the rabbit in his mother's hands, then he took out his writing board and wrote earnestly, Thank you, Grandfather. When he saw that little treasure was interacting with him using a writing board, Song Jin was slightly astonished for a moment. Still, when he read little treasure's words clearly, surprise flashed across his eyes. This boy was so young, yet he had written so well. The rain poured endlessly outside, it looked like it would not stop very soon. Song Jin left them and entered his study room alone. Cleo could not sit still. He became bored very quickly and took out some cards from his bag. It's so boring, let's play some cards. Okay. Adam seconded, but how do we play with just 3 people? Cleo laughed mischievously and looked at the little bun. Let's teach the little bun and let him play with us. Inside the room, Song Jin had meant to focus on drawing, inspired by the rain, but when he heard Cleo's intention, he opened his door and waved to Little Treasure. Child, come to Grandfather. Chapter 1028. The little bun subconsciously looked at his mother. Luna smiled and kissed the little bun's cheek. Go play with Grandfather for a while. She was really speechless at Cleo and felt quite worried for his future children. When he heard Mommy's words, the little bun nodded, then clumsily walked over to the elder. He had noticed earlier that the grandfather's study room had many drawings, and now he could not help but look up to admire them. You like them? When he observed the way the little guy stared at them in awe, Song Jin asked with an unexpectedly gentle expression. The little bun nodded, indicating his inclination for art. You know calligraphy? I mean, writing with the calligraphy brush, do you know how to? Song Jin asked again. The little bun continued to nod. Then, do you know how to draw? Song Jin asked again. This time his tone had a discreet sense of nervousness. The little bun nodded again. When Song Jin saw this, he immediately pulled out a blank drawing paper and gave the little bun some space. Want to try? Outside, Luna, Cleo and Adam were playing Fight the Landlord. Cleo looked towards the study room and wondered, what's so fun for little treasure to be with that old man? He should just play cards with us. My little bun does like drawing. With Elder Song's artistic achievements, he would have lucked out by getting any pointers from him. And what's so good about playing cards with you? Luna scoffed. Cleo clicked his tongue. Luna, you're becoming more and more professional at being a mother. It was not sure how much time had passed before the study room door suddenly opened. Song Jin and the little bun walked out. Song Jin, who had always looked so out of this world and immortal, now looked obviously emotional and excited. His gaze skimmed past Cleo and Adam and asked, which one of you is this child's father? Cleo was taken aback by this sudden question and he replied reflexively, I'm not. Song Jin immediately looked at Adam. Adam cleared his throat and said, I'm not either. Cleo continued to say, I'm the child's uncle. Adam added on, and I'm his, cousin. Luna saw that Song Jin's expression was weird, so she could not help but ask, Elder Song, is there something wrong? Song Jin instantly looked at Luna, you're the child's mother. Can you make decisions for this child? Huh? What decision? Luna thought about it. Well, if it's a huge matter, it's best to hear what his father has to say first. Luna then walked to inspect the little bun with suspicious eyes. Baby, did something happen? The little bun blinked. He was dumbfounded and was obviously not sure what was going on either. Cleo and Adam were confused too. When Song Jin heard Luna's words, his expression seemed anxious. He asked again, then, where's the child's father right now? Can I meet him? Luna thought it was even odder when she heard this. She was about to say something when someone knocked on the door, breaking the rhythmic patter of the heavy rain. Song Jin gathered himself again and walked absent-mindedly to open the door. Outside stood a tall and lean man in a black windbreaker, holding an umbrella in his hand quietly amidst the late-night breeze. Chapter 1029. You are? Song Jin asked as his gaze evaluated the person before him. The man was drenched and there was a significant amount of mud on the leg of his pants, but even though he was travel-worn and was in a sorry situation, his charisma was just as tantalizing as he exuded the vibe of someone pure and honest. Song Jin had met many people and he could almost infer that the person before him was a somebody. There were many people who had appeared on his doorstep to invite him for many reasons, yet none of them had the charisma of this guy. But, this person, why did he look slightly familiar? I'm sorry to show up uninvited so late at night, but I'm here to look for someone, said the man. He deduced that he was here to look for the four that had entered earlier, so Song Jin just let him in. Come in. When she saw who walked in, Luna's eyes immediately widened as she flew to him. Theo. Why are you here? I was worried about you and our child. When he saw that they were both fine, Theo felt assured. Look at you, you're soaked. Luna quickly took out some tissues and gave it to him so he could wipe himself dry. No worries. On the side, Cleo, who was completely neglected, was instantly sulky. Hey, you're just worried about your wife and child? You still have your biological brother and distant nephew here. Adam brooded. Please do not include me, just continue to ignore me. Wife and child. When Song Jin heard this, he was stunned. That was the child's father? No wonder he thought he looked familiar. Upon closer inspection, indeed they did look like father and son. Cleo looked to Song Jin and said, Mr. Song. Didn't you want to meet Little Treasure's father? This is him. Luna suddenly thought of explaining to Theo, Elder Song seems to have some matters he needs to talk to you for. It seems to be related to Little Treasure. Since he had finally met the child's father, Song Jin did not beat around the bush any further. This young boy has an extraordinary talent in drawing. I want to take him in as a student. Ah. Elder Song, you want to take little treasure as a student? Luna was shocked. Yes. Song Jin looked serious as he nodded. His gaze on little treasure was filled with fire. Well. Luna did not think that Song Jin would make such a request today, so she could not react immediately. Song Jin had been single for his whole life and did not have children. Neither did he accept students, so when Luna first read about him, she thought that he had no intentions of taking in any students. Therefore, her shock was understandable. Assessing the situation, it was not that he did not want any students, he had just never met anyone he wanted to take in. Elder Song had probably tested Little Treasure's skills in the study room earlier, thus sparking such a thought. Luna was full of pride at the fact that Elder Song, who was detached from worldly matters and had never accepted a single student, had taken an interest in Little Treasure. Her son was the best. Actually, even Theo was a little surprised too. He did not expect that Luna's spring outing and their taking shelter from the rain would result in Song Jin's request for an apprentice. Based on Song Jin's achievements, the fact that he would accept Little Treasure was no doubt a huge opportunity for him. Thus, Theo exchanged looks with Luna before saying, "Elder Song, your reputation has long been renowned. As husband and wife, we've admired your work for a long time. Naturally, this would be something we can't refuse. However, we still want to get our son's opinion." Adam was speechless. As husband and wife. The way he said it was a little too smooth on the tongue. They were not even married yet. Chapter 10:30. Naturally. Song Jin nodded. Luna squatted down to look at Little Treasure and asked, "Little Treasure, are you willing to learn how to draw from Grandfather Song?" Little Treasure stroked the furry rabbit in his arms and blinked, looked at father, mommy, and then the grandfather. At last, under Song Jin's nervous gaze, Little Treasure finally nodded. The instant that he nodded, Song Jin was so emotional he almost cried out, "Great! Great! Great, you will become Song Jin's only apprentice. As your master, I'll definitely pass on all of my painting techniques from this lifetime of mine to you." Then, under Mommy's directions, Little Treasure followed the steps of formally becoming the apprentice of an art grandmaster and obediently served Song Jin tea, making everything official. After the ceremony was done, Theo thought about something before asking, "But there is one problem. Elder, you live a little too far." "That is not a problem, I can completely uproot my life for my obedient apprentice, I will just move close to wherever you live," Song Jin said spontaneously. The more he looked at Little Treasure, the more he liked him. His artistic techniques and skills required a lot of talent and intelligence. Although he had already stopped hoping to find a successor that could meet his requirements, God was so kind to him and led him on a path of fate to meet this boy. Luna did not know what to say to Song Jin. She had traveled over land and water to meet this grandmaster. On the contrary, it was the little bun who Elder Song was willing to go to the extent of visiting to teach. My amazing baby. Because it was already late and it was pouring outside, Song Jin let them stay for a night since he was in an incredibly good mood as well. Cleo and Adam stayed in one room, while Luna, Theo, and the little bun stayed in another. Earlier, Theo had seen the rabbit in his son's embrace. Now, he turned to Luna and asked, "Where did the rabbit come from?" Luna replied delightedly, "I caught it. I wanted to grill it to eat but Little Treasure likes it, so I let him play with it. Isn't it cute? It's furry. And soft. Cute indeed." Theo stretched out his wide palm and stroked the rabbit's ears. When Little Treasure saw that, he immediately carried the rabbit to Mommy's side. "Mine, no touching." Theo was speechless. Seeing Theo's deflated expression, Luna laughed and dipped her head towards him. "Don't be sad, I'll let you stroke me." The little bun was agitated by this. He quickly shoved the rabbit back to Theo. "Father, you should just stroke the rabbit." "Ha ha ha ha." Luna held her stomach and laughed hard. He looked at his own son and helplessly sighed. Even though both father and son were on the same page, they still fought to be doted upon. Ah, this is great. Apart from our baby having a martial arts teacher, he now has a drawing teacher. He is really the master of pen and sword. Luna said happily. Luna. Theo suddenly called her seriously, causing Luna confusion. What? Thank you. Why are you suddenly thanking me for? Thank you for being so good to little treasure. Luna patted the little bun's head with a loving gaze. Shouldn't it be a given that I'm good to my son? Right, little bun? Little treasure nodded. As the night fell, the rain continued to patter on the window and the air was filled with the smell of fresh soil. Little treasure gradually fell into a slumber and slept soundly. Chapter 1031. Luna lay on the bed and lightly patted the little bun's back. Days like this make me feel so contented. Wait until the day I retire. I want to find a place with an enchanting scenery like this to live in hiding. You sure? There's no electricity or Wi-Fi here. Why would I need those for? I've got enough with you and little treasure. Luna was chatting idly with Theo when she suddenly heard knocking sounds from the wall behind her. Then, they heard Cleo's indistinct voice from the neighboring room. Excuse me, the both of you, it's not very soundproof here. Can you stop displaying your affection in the middle of the night? I'm going to call the police if you two continue like this. Luna responded, I'm so sorry, I almost forgot that you guys were still here. In the neighboring room, Cleo and Adam rolled their eyes. Cleo angrily bit down on his pillow and then hugged the blanket to roll around on the bed. I really want to be in love. Why hasn't that open-minded, extraordinary, flawlessly beautiful, light as a bird, elegantly unpredictable, few in words yet fragrant in aura, graceful as a swan, and pretty much supernatural girl appeared yet? Adam moved further away from him in disdain. The next morning, Song Jin cooked some light porridge, complemented by some side dishes and a few salted duck eggs. It was probably because the ingredients were of good quality, the food tasted very fresh and tasty. Cleo had even eaten up to 5 big bowls of porridge. Elder Song, I've already gotten someone to arrange the accommodation for you. Whenever it's convenient for you, I'll arrange for someone to pick you up, said Theo. Song Jin just answered, tomorrow then, I'll pack up today. Okay. The two finished chatting, then Song Jin suddenly turned to Luna who was feeding the rabbit with cabbages. Girl. Yes. Elder Song, are you looking for me? Luna answered. That thing you mentioned, I'll agree, Song Jin contemplated for a while, then informed her. Luna thought that Song Jin wanted to tell her about Little Treasure's arrangements. She was shocked by what she had heard and it took a while for it to sink in. Her face was instantly in disbelief. Are you talking about collaborating with Spirit Studio? You agree to it? Song Jin nodded, then looked at the little bun and said, as a thank you for letting me take in such a good apprentice. Luna almost cried tears of joy as she hugged the little bun. Oh. Little bun. You're indeed my lucky star. The little bun pursed his lips shyly from being complimented by Mommy. After a while, Luna let herself calm down then cleared her throat to ask, Elder Song, even though I really hope to invite you to collaborate with us, of course, more importantly, I hope that it is out of your own sincere intentions. When he heard the girl's words, Song Jin understood what she meant. I've read the information you left at my door. The designer who came with you before this, what's his name again? Angelo. That boy's designs are not too shabby. He did not let my reputation down. When she learned that Song Jin validated Spirit's capability, Luna felt assured. Thank you for your appreciation, Elder Song, we'll definitely not let you down. Chapter 1032. When they returned, Luna immediately went to the studio to announce the good news. What? Elder Song agreed. Freya was so excited she immediately jumped up from her seat. Sis Luna, you're amazing. Ashley was still fretting about selecting a national artist and did not expect Luna to bring such good news. She felt relieved and the awe in her heart increased a tad bit more. Who would have thought that she could really do it? Sis Luna, Sis Luna. How did you do it? Boss, you managed to get Elder Song? Angelo heard the commotion outside and walked over. Yes, didn't we leave our studio information outside Elder Song's door before this? Elder Song said he skimmed through it and even praised you, saying that your designs were not bad and did not dishonor his reputation. Angelo was so emotional that his eyes reddened. Boss. Are you telling the truth? Of course I am. Why would I lie to you? Keep up the good work. But most importantly, take good care of your health. After all, one's body is the most revolutionary capital. It's not healthy for you to stay at home all day and not exercise. Luna said worriedly. I know, boss. Boss, I'll work hard to design and also work hard to get fit. Thank you. Thank you, boss. Angelo took a deep bow. At the same time, at Platinum Palace. Master, Madam. When they saw that Margaret and Matthew had suddenly come to visit, the old butler quickly went up to greet them. Margaret saw that not too far away, people were busy walking in and out, so she asked with suspicion, what's happening? The master has ordered to tidy up that building beside the greenhouse. Someone is moving in, said the butler honestly. Someone is moving in. Margaret's expression changed when she heard this. Could it be that woman who wants to move in? Margaret looked at Matthew. He had obviously shared the same thought. Were they finally moving on to the next level? When she saw her son from afar, Margaret quickly called out, Theo. When Theo, who was instructing the servants, heard his mother's voice, he walked over. Mother, father, can I help you? Margaret shot a look at her son. Can't I come to see you and little treasure for no reason? What are you doing? Why are you suddenly tidying up the small building? Are you preparing to let Luna move in? Matthew looked unhappy too. Even if the two of you are a couple now, it's a bit too much to live together before getting married. Theo looked at his parents without any expression. Song Jean. What? Song today, song tomorrow? Margaret did not understand her son. The person who's moving in is Song Jean, Elder Song. What? You mean that national artist, Master Song Jean? Matthew immediately asked in surprise. Isn't Master Song living alone in Taoyuan village? In fact, he won't even meet outsiders. Why would he come and stay here? Matthew thought his son's lie was a little too absurd. Song Jean has taken little treasure in as his apprentice. To ease the lessons, he agreed to move here. When he finished, Matthew and Margaret were both dumbfounded. Matthew was shocked. What are you saying? Song Jean took little treasure in as an apprentice? When did this happen? Margaret naturally knew who Song Jean was too. She quickly said, You damn child, can't you just say everything clearly at once? We have to ask you before you'll say a few more words. What actually happened? Explain properly. Chapter 1033. How did you get Song Jean? Matthew asked, not able to help but be a little emotional. If they could get Song Jean to uncover little treasure's potential, that was an amazing thing that money could not buy. Most importantly, Song Jean could not be hired with just money. So, he was quite curious how his son had done it. It was not I who did it. Theo remained a man of few words. Matthew was about to get annoyed at his son's temper, then he caught Cleo humming and walking past the door from the corner of his eye. He quickly called for him, Cleo, come here. I have something to ask you. When Cleo heard his father call, he walked over hesitantly but stood far away. Father, what do you want to do? I won't get married even if it kills me. Margaret shot her son an annoyed look. Your father and I just wanted to ask you how little treasure became Song Jin's apprentice. What do you know about this? I was there when little treasure served tea to his master. What's up? Cleo nodded. Really? Quickly come over and tell us what happened. I'll be angered to death talking to your brother. Margaret quickly tugged at Cleo to ask. Cleo scratched his head. Well, it was because sister-in-law wanted to invite Song Jin for her studio's line next season. She could not get him after repeated visits, but on the fourth day, which was yesterday, it was coincidentally a Saturday, and because the village is so beautiful, she decided to bring little treasure along for a spring outing. Brother had work that day, so he couldn't make it. Adam and I followed along to enjoy while being hard laborers, and sister-in-law caught a rabbit too. Initially, she said that we were going to grill it to eat, but Little Treasure hugged it saying he liked it or something, so it went to Little Treasure. Sigh, wouldn't it be better to grill it? That rabbit was so fat, it would have been so yummy. Matthew's veins were bulging at this point. Get to the point. Margaret held her forehead helplessly. One son cherished his words like gold while the other was a chatterbox. Could these two punks just meet in the middle? Oh. Cleo recalled the rabbit, then continued, then, halfway through, it rained. We took shelter at Elder Song's place where Little Treasure and Elder Song had some interaction. He probably found out about Little Treasure's talent for the arts, so he took the initiative and suggested an apprenticeship. Enough? Margaret approved, enough. By the time she had finished listening to Cleo's explanation, Margaret and Matthew were amazed. The two of them did not think that Little Treasure's apprenticeship with Song Jin was an indirect result of Luna. At night, after returning to the old residence, Margaret was still thinking about it. Seeing Margaret being so absent-minded, Matthew asked, "What are you thinking about?" "I'm thinking about Little Treasure's apprenticeship." "It was actually because of that woman," mumbled Margaret. Matthew frowned. "What do you mean because of that woman? Isn't it just a coincidence?" "It's because our Little Treasure is talented." Margaret shook her head. "That's too much of coincidence. Don't you think that ever since that woman appeared, our family has started to progress towards a better direction? Theo's changes aside, especially Little Treasure, his body and spirits are becoming increasingly better, and he is slowly becoming a normal person." "No. Why would he be the same as a normal person? Our Little Treasure is even smarter than Theo back in the days. Now, Little Treasure even managed to invite the impossible-to-be-invited Song Jin to be his teacher. I heard that Little Treasure's martial arts teacher is a very amazing person too." Chapter 1034. When Margaret said this, she paused and looked at her husband. Could all of this just be a coincidence? For the past 5 years, Theo's and Little Treasure's situation did not have any signs of changes, yet it all began to shift when this woman appeared. Matthew pinched the space between his brows when he heard this. "What are you trying to say?" "I thought about the calculation that Master Xian Jing had done for Luna's date of birth. Good fortune beyond comparison, a prospering husband, and a flourishing family, a future with many children and plenty of luck. Now, it is really coming true as predicted." Margaret was slightly emotional as she said this. Matthew was stunned. "I told you not to believe in these things anymore." Even though he said that, Matthew remained deep in thought. At night, Luna invited Angelo, Freya, and Ashley for dinner to celebrate. When she returned to the apartment, Luna first showered, then dug up a set of velvet bunny pajamas to wear in accordance to her good mood before crossing her legs to sit on the bed and do some accounting. The studio's profits had been looking positive recently, the numbers having passed tens of millions. Compared to regular people, she was now considered a mini-wealthy woman herself. Luna planned it out in her mind. She could probably buy a small bungalow soon. Even though the place she stayed at right now had very good privacy and protection, it was still a place that the company had arranged for her. Quite a lot of people knew where she stayed, so it was not convenient for Theo to come by usually, so it was best for her to get her own house. It would also be considered a nest of her own. Before this, whether it was Starlight Entertainment's tattered house or Glory World Entertainment's high-class apartment arrangement, it was still not her own place. Of course, more importantly, it should be convenient for her to keep her mistress in her house. After planning in detail, Luna had basically brought her timeline of buying a house in advance. She was ready to ask for Theo's opinion about which location he liked, and of course, Little Treasure's too. Seeing that it was still early, Luna was prepared to make a loving bento for the little bun. When she reached the kitchen, she remembered that she had run out of soy sauce, so she put down the apron and went to buy some. Because the convenience store was not too far away, Luna did not bother getting changed and just took some change and her keys downstairs. "Boss, please give me a bottle of soy sauce." Luna leaned over the cashier countertop and gave the cashier some small change. "Hey, sure." In the convenience store, the lady boss, who looked like she was in her 50s, passed Luna a bottle of soy sauce. At the same time, she evaluated her and frowned. "It's so late, why did your mother let you go out to buy soy sauce alone?" Ugh. Luna broke out in a light sweat. "No worries, boss, my house is close by." Luna's hair was tied up in 2 ponytails while she wore a cartoon onesie, making her look just like an underaged 17 or 18-year-old girl. No wonder the shopkeeper misunderstood. "It's not okay even if it's close by. You're a young lady so full of life. What if you meet a bad guy? Next time, don't come out alone this late at night," the lady boss reminded. Luna nodded. "Okay, I know, thank you, sis." The lady boss grinned from ear to ear when Luna called her sis, and she stuffed another colorful lollipop in her hands. "Here you go." Luna held the soy sauce bottle in one hand as she sucked on the lollipop the lady boss had given her in the other, happily hopping her way home. Just as she was thinking about what yummy food to cook for the little bun, someone appeared before her without any warning. Chapter 1035. It was a strange woman. The woman wore a dark, tight-fitting bodysuit and she emitted a similar aura as third senior sister Rachel did, the kind of aura a killer possessed. "Luna bro, Duncan wants to see you," the woman looked at her and spoke expressionlessly. Luna was caught off guard. She actually met a baddie on the way home. She was just out that night to buy some soy sauce and did not expect to meet Duncan's underling. And the only weapon she had on her right now was a bottle of soy sauce. The woman opened the car door. "Please." Luna's brain worked fast as she sucked on her lollipop and tilted her head. "Miss, who are you?" "I think you've got the wrong person. I'm not Luna bro." The woman was a little taken aback. "You're not Luna Wood?" Luna continued sucking her lollipop and shook her head innocently. "Miss, my name is Little Bunny." The woman looked at her, then she glanced at Luna's apartment and said coldly, "I saw you coming out from 701. Luna scratched her head. "I know the girl from 701. I always visit her, but it's a girl, not a guy staying there." The woman was confused by Luna's innocent expression. Although she knew that Luna Wood was actually a woman and she had seen her pictures in a female outfit before, this girl in front of her did not look like Luna either. Could she have made a mistake? "Oh my, it's really late already. I'm going home now. If not, my mother's going to give me a good scolding. Goodbye." Luna then walked away quickly. The woman who was left behind was perplexed. A voice came through the woman's Bluetooth earphone. "Did you get her?" "I'm sorry, Duncan, I think I followed the wrong target." "Wrong target?" "Yes, I've sent a picture to your phone. Please check if the person is Luna Wood." Duncan then spoke to her through the Bluetooth earphone. "The person in the picture is Luna Wood." The woman was speechless. Had she been fooled by Luna Wood? Luna Wood was her idol. Not only did she find out that her idol was actually a man, she even turned out to be a stupid little bunny. "I'm sorry, Duncan. It's my mistake." Duncan coughed. "It's all right, it's not your fault, continue your mission." "Yes." The woman moved swiftly after she ended the call. She climbed over the walls and went towards Luna's direction. A short while later, just when Luna thought she had finally gotten away from that woman, a dark shadow appeared right in front of her. Luna almost cursed out loud when she saw her. She need not ask, her disguise was found out. The woman stood before Luna with a cold expression. "Luna bro, your disguise was really amazing, I was almost fooled." Luna kept quiet. "That was not a disguise at all. That's who I really am. I've always been a cute little bunny, you stupid humans." Chapter 1036. Luna's eyes turned chilly. We were once colleagues, after all. I don't want to hurt you, don't make me do it. The woman grinned. Had it been the last time, I might not have been able to win, but now, I heard that you can't even face Rachel for more than a few minutes. Luna had nothing to say. How did she even know about this? Luna bro, follow me. If it's possible, I don't want to hurt you either, said the woman. Luna took a glance at the gun strapped to the woman's waist and she understood the woman was trying to be polite. Not only did Luna not have any weapons on her, even if she did, she would not be able to handle someone who was sent by Duncan. Luna got into the car in the end. There was also a man in the car, designated to be the driver, and the woman sat at the back with Luna. The woman searched through Luna's outfit and even checked the small black hair clip on her. Luna tilted her head and glanced at the woman busy examining her. You can stop now, baby, I just came out to get some soy sauce. I didn't even bring my phone. Do you really expect me to possess anything dangerous now? The woman stopped as she heard Luna's voice. She felt her ears heating up. That was Luna Wood's voice, Luna Wood's tone. Although Luna looked like an underage girl now, her tone matched the old Luna Wood. The woman shook her head and came back to her senses, then she tied Luna's wrists tightly to ensure that she could not escape. Pretty lady, can you tell me why Strategist Fong has invited me over? Luna asked. I'm just executing my orders, I don't know anything else, the woman answered expressionlessly. You're also working for Satan, but why have I never seen you before? The woman stopped answering her questions and ignored her. Too bad. Luna just closed her eyes and got some rest. What surprised Luna was that although the woman had tied her up, she did not blindfold her. It seemed like she did not mind her knowing where were they heading to. The streetlights and cars outside were getting lesser and lesser as the car headed towards the outskirts. Where were they bringing her? Any further would be going into the wilderness. As Luna was running through the possibilities in her mind, the car stopped in front of an old European villa. When she clearly saw where they were, Luna's face went pale. Gosh, was this not the infamous haunted villa? Rumor had it that a pregnant woman hung herself inside. Ever since then, the house was haunted and many mysterious things happened. A resident was even scared to death here and no one else dared to take over this house after that. What was happening? Of all places, why here? The thing she was afraid of the most was ghosts. Luna bro, please let go. Luna's hands were tied together but she clung on to the car door with her fingers. She even crawled back into the car upon realizing where they were. The woman looked at the driver and they both dragged Luna out. A gun was pointed at Luna's back and she could only walk towards the scary haunted house slowly. Chapter 1037. The woman was suspicious when she saw Luna's pale face and her shaky legs. Luna had been pretty calm along the way just now and even took a nap, but when they reached there, she became so frightened. But, well, who could blame her? That man was pretty scary after all. The thick wooden door made a loud creaking sound as the woman pushed it open. The large house was empty and dark. The light was not turned on and only a few white candles lined up on the wall were lit up. The dim lights made the haunted house even spookier. Under the dim candle lights, the oil portraits on the wall looked like haunting ghosts. The old wooden floorboards creaked as they walked through the house. With an old pendulum clock, bronze mirrors, animal tusks, and deer heads, the house was like a horror film set populated with extremely ancient decorations. She expected a ghost to suddenly pop out of nowhere, or a white figure to suddenly hang down right in front of her. Luna walked slowly, her steps treading heavier after each step. The woman with the gun on Luna's back realized that she was walking slower and slower and she got annoyed. As the woman was about to tell Luna to go faster, the large clock in the house struck 12. Dong! 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 The large clock rung out loudly all of a sudden and the sound echoed throughout the empty house. Arg, ghost! Luna screamed at the top of her lungs and she turned around to hug the woman. She was shivering, apparently really afraid. The woman was dumbfounded. Luna was actually scared of ghosts. She was wondering if she was dreaming. The worst thing was that the image of her idol was being destroyed bit by bit until nothing was left anymore. It was all just her imagination. It's just the sound of the clock. The woman looked at the little bunny with an expressionless face. The sound of the clock really shocked me. After a while, the woman finally brought Luna into a room upstairs. While it was just a short distance from the car to the room, Luna felt like she had just gone through hell. The woman in the black suit thought that Luna was trying to delay her time, but then she realized that Luna's forehead was full of sweat and she did not seem to be acting. The woman still could not get over her past idol. Luna stopped her from leaving after they reached the room. "Where are you going? Please wait here for a moment. You want to leave me alone here? No way. Don't go. What am I waiting for? Can't you wait with me? Aren't you worried that I might run away? My mission ends here." No matter how Luna begged, she still left. Damn. We'll see if you'll leave me this quick if I were in a male outfit. Chapter 1038. The woman's footsteps were going further and further away until Luna could not hear it anymore. The whole place was dead silent and there was not even the slightest rustle. She could hear herself moving just an inch of her body and the very tiny sound she made was magnified, terrorizing her. She was already frightened even when there was another person with her. Leaving her alone was torture. Luna took a deep breath and chanted whatever religious mantra she remembered as she tried to look around the room to distract herself. There was a dimly lit white candle on the dressing table. She could see that the design of the room was pretty similar to the outside. The only difference was that it was way scarier. She also realized the room was very spacious. From the structure and decoration of it, it should be the master bedroom. Master bedroom. Luna suddenly ran to a corner, away from the entrance. The rumor that went around was that the woman, who had hung herself, had done so at the entrance of the master bedroom. She was standing exactly under it just now. She finally understood their plan now. They wanted to scare her to death. There were some things in life that could never be overcome, like Luna's fear of ghosts. When she had stayed with her foster parents, her grandmother did not like her and tried to abandon her many times. There was once that she had left Luna alone near a graveyard. She stayed there for 2 days, and was deeply traumatized by the experience back then. She ended up being terrified of ghosts. Even though she knew they were baseless assumptions, she could not help it. She also would not watch any horror films. Luna took another deep breath to calm herself down, then she tried to untie herself. Unfortunately, the woman had used a professional technique and the rope texture was special, so it was impossible to escape from it. She dragged her weak body around and checked the room, but all the doors and windows were locked. She looked into the mirror and saw her own pale face. Her thoughts ran wild and she thought that she was buried in the ground with the dead bodies. She did not even have the capacity to think about why Duncan had trapped her there. The only thing that might make her feel better in the room was probably the bed. Luna's legs were trembling as she slowly moved towards the bed. She grasped the pillow to her chest and curled up into a fetal position. Time passed by. No one came and there was no sound. She felt like she was the only one alive in the whole world until the candle on the dressing table was burnt completely. The sole source of light went out and the room became pitch black. Luna's tensed-up mind could not take it anymore. Her deepest, darkest thought flooded her mind uncontrollably. A little girl was abandoned heartlessly. She waited at the same spot only to hear ferocious beast cries from the forest. She ran and then was tripped by something. She looked down to see a pile of bones. She was lost in a woods full of dried-up bones. She waited from night till dawn, and from day till dusk. She kept on waiting and waiting. Chapter 1039. The scenery in her mind shifted again. It was a sunny afternoon and there was a loud screech of brakes. She felt a sharp pain in her stomach. Child, her child. Blood, in the eyes, everywhere. Child. My child. He's dead. Your child is dead. He was born dead. What could you do even if he's not dead? Are you going to take care of an illegitimate child? No, she did not believe it. His heart had still been beating in her womb just a moment ago. Not an illegitimate child. Her child was not an illegitimate child. She had been looking forward to the birth of her child. It was her child. Her precious child. Give me back my baby. Give me back. The woman's mournful voice echoed through her head. Deep in her heart, she knew it was her own voice. Finally, the next moment, she saw that child. She finally saw her baby. In a cold morgue, a small body which was all purple and blue, the baby had stopped breathing. Her child, her baby was dead. Suddenly, there was a loud screech amongst the silence. It was the opening of the door. Thud. 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 Leather Shoes stepped into the room and a tall man came in. The man's fair hand was holding a candle. Under the dim light, it highlighted his grayish eyes and his silver hair. The man walked slowly towards the bed and closed in on the dark silhouette. There was a girl on the bed and she was gripping the pillow tightly, drenched in sweat. Her hair was wet and her body was shivering. No, no, my child, no. The girl was definitely not fully conscious until she noticed the source of the light and the sound of footsteps. She looked up and stared in the direction of the light. You're still useless as ever. The man's sarcastic tone echoed through the spooky room. Luna stared at the person while maintaining her fetal position. She did not move and did not say anything. It seemed like she was still in her dreamlike state. The girl was wearing a furry onesie and her body was quivering as she stared hard at him with her reddened eyes. It was just too easy to trigger a person's darkest desire. The man's eyes went darker and darker as he slowly extended his hand towards the girl. He tried to touch her lips. The next moment, the man felt a sharp pain on his hand. Before he could close in, the girl had bitten his hand, blood smearing the girl's mouth and the man's hand. The man's expression changed. He held the girl's lower jaw and pushed her onto the bed. With a cold and angry expression, he spoke in a dangerous tone. Who are you keeping yourself for? Chapter 1040. Johann Scott. What do you want? Luna was finally awake and she demanded. The man looked at his bleeding hand, then licked it slowly. His demonic eyes locked onto her and he said in a low voice beside her ears, I didn't really plan to do anything, but now. His voice creeped Luna out. I've already told you clearly. Yes, you saved my life, so I gave you 4 years of my life and risked my life countless times for you, but now, I don't owe you anything. We're going on separate paths, so what's wrong with that? The man cackled as he held her chin. You don't owe me? My dear, don't even talk about when you're alive. Even if you're dead, you're still mine. If I go to hell, you'll follow right behind me. This maniac. The man's expression was crazy and the situation was going out of hand. Luna was not just tied up, she could not move at all. She kept her eyes shut and yelled, You won't harvest any sweet fruits from forcefully picking them. Is there any meaning to what you're doing? Who told you that I like sweet fruits? Luna was taken aback. Even if you get my body, you'll never have my heart. The man raised his eyebrows as he ran his fingers through her hair. I only want your body. Who wants your heart? Why was he acting so irrationally? When she was almost scared to death just now, she had prayed for a living person to come. As long as it was a living person. But now, as she looked at the guy in front of her, she might as well have met a ghost. There must be something wrong with her method of praying. Wait. Don't you want to know why I chose Theo? Luna yelled again. As expected, the man stopped. He squinted his eyes, then asked her with a half-hearted smile, Tell me about it. Luna gulped, able to relax a little. Probably because she had mentioned Theo's name, the girl's expression softened. It was an expression he had never seen before, exciting his inner dominating desire. Luna closed her eyes and said slowly, Johann Scott, you know a lot about me. Whether it was when I was still staying with my foster parents, or when I was taken back by the Ning family when I was 18, or even the 4 years when I was overseas, before I met Theo, there was not a day that I could be myself. Because I was afraid of being abandoned, I tried my best to appeal to my foster parents and grandmother. Because I was afraid of being ignored, I tried to look good in front of my parents and the socialites. Because of love, I gave up everything to try to please Su Yen. Because I wanted to survive, I buried my real self. Up to this point, Luna was reminded of the years when she had wandered overseas and she wore a cold smile. However, soon, the coldness melted away. After I came back, revenge blinded me and made me lose my way. Until I met that person, until I met Theo, no one has ever treated me so well. He loves me and protects me, he always quietly sacrifices himself for me and he's never forced me to do anything. I can only be myself in front of him.